Isabella from Prime Time here, and today we are looking at the restoration period of in England, obviously, so 60s, 80s, not 60s, 80s, possibly even early 90s, but let's just stick to the 80s then. It's a very interesting period at the time of the history for a variety of reasons. Obviously we have restoration, we have Charles II on the throne with his wife Catherine of Braganza, and a lot is going on in fashion change. The link to Catherine of Braganza is important, mostly because the chemise I'm wearing is based on the chemise that is discussed in the Patterns of Fashion, and that apparently there is a rumour it has been that it was belonging of Catherine of Braganza, so a rather posh little thing. So this is a simplified version of it. It's still pretty ornate, especially on the sleeves, because the sleeves are the ones that you will see much more. But it has a gore here. The original one has two gores actually, all covered up with handmade sunburst lace, which is typical of the southern region, possibly Portugal. Now, this very ornate arrangement is because you actually do see the sleeves in the fashions. The sleeves have been sort of creeping up throughout the century, and by the 80s they're really quite short, 90s they're almost gone entirely, almost, not quite so. That's basically what shows. You are advertising the fact that you are affluent, you can afford lace, you can afford the bleached linen. So obviously if you don't afford the lace, just do it with linen. So let us have a look at all the layers. I'm going to put my shoes on now, get my usual stockings. Now this stuff is really interesting for a variety of reasons, but mostly because you do not really have stays per se. You can have them and they're still present, but at that time lots of the gowns used the bodices of covered stays as the bits that was showing. So basically getting rid of one layer entirely. Have a look at this. So this is just my usual standard silk petticoat, the one you are very well familiar with, about 25 years old now. And optional at that time, it's starting to go out of fashion at the moment, but you can have a little bumble as well, so I'm going to stick it on for the time being. But this is really going out of fashion, and the moment we have proper mantuas, it's going out of fashion completely. We have a streamlined silhouette. The next layer is a petticoat, proper, and a bit of a hair. And these started to be much more ornate as well, because the skirts started being parted and revealing it more. So this one is in a really decorative fabric with a lot of metallic lace. A lot of metallic lace, even though it can be even more if you really wanted to. Very often you would just have a front petticoat being quite ornate and the back being plain, because back was not showing that much. So no need for that either. Here I have just enough fabric to make both. It ties at the back, nice and easy. It's almost a pity you cannot see lots of that fabric, because it's really gorgeous. It's a sort of woolen silk brocade. And now the very structured garment that goes on top of that is the covered stays. This is a self-drafted pattern, but you can see several similar ones, and again, patterns of fashion. I'll see if I can pop the link to the shop somewhere around. It's an amazing publication to draw inspiration from. And it's made out of a couple of layers of linen buckram, interlined, stiffened with synthetic whalebone, because obviously we don't use normal whalebone anymore, and then covered with plain linen and silk. And then on top goes the lace. Again, let's have a look a bit more. So there's quite a lot of work in it. I will put some photos at the back of the video to show you the process. The inside is lined in silk as well as a sort of floating lining with tabs being lined separately. And it closes at the back with a lot of hand-stitched eyelets. You can just about see them, I think. There you go. There are a few of these also closing in front, so that would be a good option if you do not have any servants or any help available. As it is, I will need some help, but let's put it straight through first. The front has a long wooden busk, so it's quite stiff. Let's just put the chemise in, if I can. So you can see how short the sleeves really are. Right, I'm going to have a tactical break here and get someone to lace me in. And as if by magic, the stays are laced. Let's have a look here. I should close it a little bit further. Maybe because of dinner last night. Okay, as you can see, the sleeves are very puffy. They're held up with ribbons. Elastic would be easier, but not historically accurate, so just ribbons and bows. And you can see people being dressed like that just for inside, for indoors. But if you're going out, or if you have more ceremonial wear, you put your train on. That's what in the past used to be a skirt, a closed skirt. So we have a matching skirt closed here, worn over like in the famous bath dress. But it's sort of evolved to be open, and it just does underneath the tabs of your stays. If I can find my stuff here. Now my skirt is on, and it's easy to take on, easy to take off, and you will see that in history that skirt started going back and back and back more, forming this sort of arrangement. So far I think we're almost done here, so it's quite a short dressing up really, because you are really skipping the step of the stays. So I'll just put some more pearls on. See it. Now, not ideal if you are going out in an autumn or winter, so obviously you will have an overcoat or a jacket, possibly fur-lined, and a big muff and something on your neck, because at the moment there's nothing there. But as it is, I'm ready. Quite like it. Totally simple. The stays are quite comfortable and supportive. Definitely hold you up quite straight, much more than a corset, because all that edge here is bone as well. So you can't really, well, you can move your hands a bit, but not much more. So yeah, a cord attire. Let's go and take some photos. Let's go for a walk. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this short dressing up. If you have, there is a buy me a coffee link somewhere else if you want to see more of these. Any questions, drop me a line.